What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian from Brian's Custom Auto coming at you with more engine cleaning stuff. Will we get this engine cleaned? Will we get it put back together? Will it run? Find all that out in this video or maybe the next one. Who knows? I don't know where this thing's going. Do you? Let's just see. All right, so at the moment, we've got this intake up here, trying to clean it up some and seeing if they've done any port matching on it. And that's how I know this was put on after the fact of the engine getting all its fancy work. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and check out my last video because that explains all of it. Now, for all of you who are still here, you know where we're at. Now, they not only used gasket sealer on here, but they also use this yellow stuff, and I think I know what it is. I think. But why? I don't understand that. And I am having the toughest time getting all of it off. Because that stuff is, yeah, it's hard. And of course, you know you can't do this one-handed. But yeah, they did it on both sides. They did it on the carburetor when they put the carburetor gasket down. I don't know. I've never seen, but this, look, you can see it on that. You can see it in all the, yeah. Yep. Oh, I want to show you. Check it out. O'Reilly's hooked me up with one of their flags since the last 3 vehicles that we've built out of this shop have been pretty much all the parts from O'Reilly's. Now, I'm not getting a paid promotion from them yet. But the guys down at this local O'Reilly's here in Elizabeth, Tennessee, do so much to help with all these builds and stuff. So the least I can do is show them a little support, okay? And yeah, get it out there. So we got help coming from O'Reilly's, and we still have our longtime sponsor, Super Clean. So, and outside of that, back to this. Now, I don't want to put a wire wheel on this side because it could mess it up. So, because I don't know if you know, but aluminum, you can move a lot of aluminum with just a wire wheel. So, anybody got any ideas? By the time this video comes out, I'll have figured it out. But I'm still going to ask for future reference. If anybody has any ideas on how to get this yellow window adhesive, that's what I think this stuff is. I've got some right here in this drawer. Yeah, everybody says, how do you know where all your stuff is in this mess of a shop? Because it's my mess. But yeah, I think that's what they used on it. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. But anyhow, so there's the majority of that. Now, we also are working on, flip this over, getting that paint off. As you can see right there, I've already had to clean that because they had this painted red. You can see it on the inside. They just spray bombed everything. Look, there's more of that yellow stuff right there. Well, that's red. They put red. Wow. That's all I can say is a whole bunch of wow. But this is an Edelbrock RPM air gap. Okay. Now, I'm thinking if I have enough time, I'm thinking maybe take them square edges and round them a little bit and maybe make that a fin. It's just a thought. But David Freiberger pointed out a long time ago that you don't have to do that. Because if you put one of these on there, it takes away and makes pretty much any intake an air gap. And it shows that on a dual plane intake, and of course this one's got the open hole, and we'll just take that phonolic piece out of the middle. But it does show on these that adding a 1-inch spacer does increase your bottom end torque just a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to make it, you know, pop the front tires over a Coke can in the O'Reilly's parking lot like Derek says. But it does increase your lower end torque. Now, on my blue truck out there, which is also a small block, it's 355. It's actually the same engine as that over there. Nothing real fancy or cool with it. But on that one, the difference between having that spacer and not is substantial. Like, you can completely feel the difference. You can also completely feel the difference running old Corvette style manifolds, which is what I have on it now, versus the headers that was on it. So anyhow, on that truck, I have the ram horn style manifolds on it, and the only reason I even allowed myself to put those on there was because I have a 5-speed in that truck with a Z-bar. So with the Z-bar, you can't really run headers on that unless you run really, really, really short shorties, and doing that, you're going to literally get the same amount of power as you're getting out of them ram horns. So I don't know, maybe one day I'll figure out a way or an idea to build me a custom set of headers for that. I mean, passenger side, you can put any kind of long tube you want on it, but driver side is where you have the problem at. So if you got a Z-bar like that and it mounts to the engine block instead of the transmission, it causes issues with your routing of your header. I even put one on and drilled a hole and put a bolt into it, and yeah, don't do that either, because when you hit the gas and your engine torques just a little bit, it makes your clutch wonky. Anyhow, so our goal is to get all this red off of here and all the crap. There's still crap down in there. Let's see, I got a softball blade right here. All right, we're on a new day, guys. I've been cleaning on this intake, cleaning on this intake, trying to get this paint off of it. I'm not sure what these people use to paint it with. It ain't powder coat, but whatever they did, they got enough paint on this to where the wire wheel, the parts washer, the paint thinner, the acetone just would not do the trick. So I'll show you what where I'm at. Got the actual liquid stripper, this stuff here, put a little bit in there and just layered it on here, and you can see how it's wrinkling off now. So now we got to get my other glove on. We're going to go get the brush out of the box over there and start seeing how much of this stuff is going to brush off versus what else I have to do. So I'm going to jump on that and wish me luck. All right, everybody, so I've been working on this intake for a long time. I put the paint stripper on it. I let it sit and eat for like an hour, and it did what it was supposed to do, but again, it goes back to, I don't know what them people put on here. I wound up with a Pepto-Bismol pink vomit mix looking something or another. Let's see if I can. Well, yeah, here. The paintbrush. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so I did that and got the majority of it off, just to realize that no matter how much I worked on it, I just would not get all that pink off. So I then cleaned it with acetone and then primed it. And now it looks like this. So my reasoning for that, all the way around, my reasoning for that is because, as I said, I was never going to get all the pink out of it, right? But I have Cast Blast in the metal, just like what I did the engine block in. So we're going to let this sit and dry for a little bit, give it time to flash. We're going to move it inside a little bit better because it is pouring down rain. So let's do that. It's not heavy, it's just I'm old and bending over. All right, so there it is, just in primer, right? And that really don't look that bad. Probably could put it on the engine that way, but I'm not going to, because I have better standards than that. All right, here we are 2 minutes in. Got the first layer of Cast Blast on there. And guys, just so you know, what I'm using here is Rust-Oleum High Heat. It is ceramic coat. It's good for 2,000 degrees, okay? It's Guys, this stuff is awesome. Like, it is so good. But anyway, and it's got a lot of metal flake in it. Now, once I put this on, if I don't like the way it looks, then I can clear coat over it or add another silver that I've got to it just to give it more of a metallic look. But I think this will be just fine, honestly. All right, guys, we're back. It's a new day, and we're getting back on this small block Chevy and trying to run these numbers to see exactly what it is. I mean, it's a 4-bolt main Chevy 350. But just for easement, you know, just to see. But outside of that, also, I'm going to go ahead and flip this thing over just because I really want to check them rod journals and see what the bearings look like on that. Rather to be safe than sorry. And I also just legitimately want to run the home through these cylinder bores just a little bit. All right, guys, we're back, and there's something I want to show y'all. There's a small line on the crank, not enough to catch a fingernail. Try to fix that. So, not worried about that. However, and I should have checked this earlier, but this 350, this dude just keeps getting luckier and luckier. This 350 that no longer has pistons in it. Come find out, and I'm looking here. Spin that around. See that little groove right there? And it's only on that side, and it's squared off, and all that jazz. And then round on the bottom with that instep. And run the numbers. It's a 400 crank. So we've got a we've got a 350 60 over, which they put that in several places. There's you a number if anybody wants to look at it and see what it is. But they put a 60 over on the block when they did whatever. Then they come over here and did it there too, which means they've decked this block at some point. Okay, not a big deal. I'm not stressing that a bit. Now, all that does is raise your compression up a little bit. Now, going back to what I said about this engine not running, the bottom end of it has ran at some point in its life, and not good. See that bearing right there? Yeah. How about that one? Yeah. But the crank is fine. Okay. I think we just spun some bearings, whatever. Not a real big deal. We can get past this once I straighten out the big mishap here. All right. So anybody who watches my videos, you'll know that I always number my pistons when I pull them out, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, right? Now, a good machine shop, when they do this stuff, don't drop it, they always mark their piston cap or rod caps and all this. Also, your bodies should fit a little bit better than that, and I'll show you why that don't. All we're gonna do is keep in mind that's number one. We're gonna spin this piston around. See where it's stamped in there? What does that say? That was number 7. So, which the top looks like a 1 to me. So, yeah. So this piston was supposed to be number 7, not number 1. So then you say, well, let's go to number 1 and see what number 1 has. Well, there it is right there. You got 2 number 1s on that one. So, and it's not just that one. Let's see, here's number 2, right? Spin it around. Let's spin it again. There's nothing on that one at all. Let's go to number 3. See number 3? Spin it around. What's on there? You got number 3 and number 3. They got that one right. Go to number 4. Let's see what's on number 4. They got that one right. What about number 5? Did they get number 5 right? Yep, number 5 and number 5. How about 6? It's number 6. Let's see, did they get number 6 right? Oh! That's 2 8s, guys. So if that's 2 8s, then what does that make number 8 but number 6? All right, so we got the main bearings ordered. They are 10 thousandths undersized. So it wasn't something they had stock on the shelf. Again, as per usual, I'm shopping at my local O'Reilly's. Guys, there's always people moving in and out of these O'Reilly's places. So if you have one, like I did, that a couple years ago, you know, getting parts was always a problem, just give them time. Don't give up on them. They'll get some good help in there eventually. And when they do, the guys that they get in there usually do really good work. I'm not sponsored by them. Yeah, I've got the flag up, but I don't make money from them, guys. It's just I've got so many people I can use, and they work harder for me, so I work harder for them. It's real simple. Anyway, if you're in the Tri-Cities area and you need a part, check with your O'Reilly's, because these ones we have around here, they all seem to work really good now. All right, guys, so I'm like I say, I'm not going stupid on these cylinders, but it really is not taking much. I mean, you can see the cross hatching in there now. Cross hatching in that one versus this one. Okay, nothing. And that. And then that. See, it really don't take much. It's just bringing these cylinders back around just so they'll seal just a little bit better. I'm using WD-40. Typically, I would use diesel fuel with a little bit of oil in it, just for the lubricity of it. But I don't have any diesel fuel, and I forgot to get some when I went to go pick up the main bearings. So yeah, we're using WD-40 because it works just as good. Actually, you know what? Just for S&G, I think I'll use PB Blaster on the next one. Let's see what it does. Alrighty, all 8 are done. They look a lot better. And the crankshaft spins really. Alright, guys, so we are back. We did get the cylinders honed out. Like I say, we just did a light honing, nothing major. There's still some gunk in this one, but it's nice and smooth, so I'm not stressing it. That one honed really nice. That one still had a little bit in it. I could probably re-hone that one more time, but I'm not that stressed about it because it turned out really good. Now I need to pull mainly the top ring off of these, which I've got a lot to do with the pistons here, because, as I said, this is number 6, but it's stamped number 8. So what I need to do is make sure that they all fit in the sequence that they're supposed to when I put them back, because they're going to go back in the order that they're stamped, not how I have them marked. Like this is number 5, and 4. So 4 and 5 would go together. Let me see. 1 and 2 would go together. 3 and 4 would go together. 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So I just need to make sure they'll fit into the bore the right way, like they're supposed to. Make sure they're not backwards. For those of you who don't know, one side of the piston ring has a chamfer to it, and the other side is flat. The reason that is because when you have 2 pistons that go together, let's see. I don't want to tell you wrong. Okay, this side here has the chamfer on the inside. That goes toward the crankshaft, right? And then this side here, and this is just as an example, not how it goes together. See how this side doesn't have the chamfer, but this side does? And then this side has it, and the other side don't. So these two set on the rod like this, okay? and that's what you want. So when I put them all together, I need to make sure that their chamfer is on the proper side versus the flat side and all that. Make sure they all fit into the bore like they're supposed to. I'm going to clean up the pistons while I got them out and check the rings for clearance inside the bore. So we're going to go 2, 4, 6, 8 on this side first, just checking, and I want to see what kind of gap clearance we have. See if this thing was built for booster, see if it was built to go high RPM. I think it was built to go high RPM because of the 400 crank in it. But that's going to be about all we can do tonight while we wait on our 10 thousandths under bearings to come in for tomorrow. All right, people, we are back, and it's another day. It's actually the evening. I've had a pretty eventful day today. Had to start out first thing this morning about 7 o'clock, getting my mother to her doctor and getting back to pick up the new rod bearings from O'Reilly's. And again, guys, like I say, my O'Reilly's, they work their hind end off trying to make me happy. Unfortunately, there was just one bad day where the guy that was working there decided to not really pay attention and had ordered the wrong bearings. I'm not mad at him about it at all, because David made it right. So, that being said, after multiple trips and just Tuesday, that was like the Monday from hell, we finally are back on the small block. So anyhow, what we've done at this point is I've got all the pistons laid out and numbered the way they're supposed to go with brand new Mahle bearings in them. They are 10 thousandths undersized, okay? Reason being is because that's what came out of this block. So, we're going to lube up this block, and, start sliding pistons in one by one. The pistons go in one by one, hurrah, hurrah. Now, I got to get my little hose so I can put on the bolt so it don't go down and hit the crank. I've showed y'all that before. I'm going to do it the same way I did it then. You put 2 short pieces of hose on here about 4, 5, 6 inches. That way when it goes down, you can steer it onto the rod, and it does not allow the bolt to hit the rod and cause issues. And then you slide the main cap on and move on to the next one. So that's how it's going to work, and that's what we're going to do. Go ahead and say this here too, guys. Now, this is what I'm using as my spring compressor or piston compressor, so I can tap these down in there. You'll want to lube up your cylinder wall really good. But above all, you most definitely want to clean your piston skirt, or whatever y'all call this thing, okay? Because like mine sits on the shelf, it'll have all kind of dust in it. So I stop first and clean it really good. And then you want to spray it down with like some PB Blaster, WD-40, something like that, just so it'll slide through real good. So keep that in mind. So it just dawned on me that maybe since the last time I built an engine, we've gotten like 1,000 more subscribers since then. And it dawned on me that somebody might want to see the process of installing pistons in. So I figured I've already got 6 in, I've got 2 left. So why not let me go through this process and show you the step-by-step on these last 2. So let me show you that. So you'll see here that all that's left is the last 2 right there. Notice that looks really wet. I sprayed it down with WD-40 just to make sure it was good and clean. And you'll notice I've got that crank all the way on the very bottom. The reason I did that is so that way it's easier to get to it to tighten the nuts up, okay? Each one of these is torqued down to 30 foot-pounds right now, which we'll get to that point as soon as I finish with these last 2, okay? So I'm going to put you on the tripod, and I will show you the step-by-step and how I do it. So we'll rotate this back just like that. All right, so we are on number 7. This is number 7. Now, I've got my pan down on the ground, and we are going to start by just spraying WD-40 in here, okay? All right. Now, got my spring tensioner on, got my hoses on there, I've got my assembly lube on the bottom. Now we simply, and I got my chamfer set this way because it goes against the crankshaft. You want the flat side to where the next piston's going to catch it. Slide those in just like so. I leave them long enough that no matter what position I'm in, they're already across the crankshaft. Now, you could just hammer away on this to get it in there. I don't do that. I like to just barely go around this compressor here. Just barely tapping. And then once you do that, take the handle and start tapping. There you go. Now that that's in there, you want to still gently tap. Don't want to go stupid. Just go till it stops. Hear that solid? You know what that means? That means we're in the hole. Alright, so at this point, technically I could... No, I will. I don't want to change nothing now. So I'll come over to this side, I'll pull my hoses off. The two hoses. Oh. I'll kick a box. I will flip my engine over like so. Like that. Put that back in there and that back in there. And you can see right here that the base of the rod is already back. Now, again, we're going to put the assembly lube inside the bearing. Guys, I do this just because I like for absolutely everything to be lubed up. There's no such thing as too much lube. Now, if you'll look at your bearings, if you ever wonder which way this cap's supposed to go, because it looks the same on both sides, which this does not. But you'll notice you got your inset right there. Inset goes on the same side as the inset on the rod. Okay? So, you'll get this in here like so. Simply slide that on. Your rod nuts. You'll notice one side of them is rounded, one side is flat. Flat side goes down. Just like so. Just like so. I've got a long ratchet set only for tightening. I got a spider runner across my floor. I used a little ratchet for this part just for the simple fact you're not trying to torque it down with that. You're just trying to get it snug. And then we turn on our Harbor Freight Quinn digital torque wrench that has to stay flat while it comes on. Add on your socket and snug it up. There's one. Uh-oh. I've changed my head on this. Actually, I'll just do this. Probably ain't gonna be perfect, but we're gonna have to retorque them anyway. Perfect. Alright, snatch that back off, throw it down there. There we go, right there. The other little surprise on this build here, guys, is the pistons. I put rings in there last night just to double check them, see what my gap clearance was. And they still had 50 thousandths gap clearance inside the bore. Now, on just a street engine, that's way too much. But with everything that I have found out about this engine along the way, somebody was planning on making boost. And you know what that means for us? That means somebody is still planning on making boost. Just to make sure, yep. Always double check it, guys. Triple check it, quadruple check it. Because this is the easiest part, in my opinion. This is the easiest part to mess up. But as long as you do the same thing every single time, something I learned a long time ago, as long as you do the same thing every single time you do it, you never, ever have an issue. Except maybe an oil pump in the way. There it is. Whoop! There it is. Okay. As I said with this, you're not trying to torque it, you're just trying to tighten. Excuse me. Somebody's out riding Harleys tonight. Okay. As I said, we are just 30 pounds. Why?
I already got some because what's that beeping?
My torque wrench, honey. And there we go. And that's how you put them in, guys. So, we'll bring number 1 and 2 up. That's 40. That's 40. That's 40. Right there. Ah! Roll away engine stand. And there you go. Now, let's flip her back over. After we drop all our stuff. It's a little more top heavy now. And then just for added measures, not that we have to, but just for added measures, let's spray a little bit of lube in each cylinder bore again. Uh-oh. I have to do one side in PB Blaster, one side in WD. All right, let's rotate. Anybody see anything wrong with that? I don't. And just for the record, number 1 cylinder here, guess what? That's Will. That's the downhill, so now we need to come back. Alright. Now, anybody want to leave it in the comments and tell me, is this top dead center or number 1 on exhaust or compression stroke? That's a trick question. I want to see who can answer it. Anyway, so at this point, guys, we could put the camshaft back in it, but I'm not doing that tonight. Instead, I'm going to spray this area here down with PB Blaster just to keep it lubed up, because I do get moisture in my shop. Alright everybody, we're back. It's a new day, and I've got the first head on but not torqued down yet, and it dawned on me that maybe some of y'all might need to see how this whole deal goes here. Now, last night I came out and cleaned all the bolts really good. These are, in fact, ARP, so they are reusables, which is a good thing, because that's what we're going to do. But you'll see I've got the Federal Mogul break-in oil here. The reason I've got that is because you want to put a little bit of oil under the washer on your ARP head studs, and you want to seal the threads on every one of your bolts. Now, some people say you have to, some people say you don't have to. I do it because I would much rather be safe than sorry. Alright, overlooked the pause there for a second. Had to get this off the floor and wipe it down a little bit, and get it on the alignment dowels, and get one stud in it just to make sure it ain't going nowhere. Alright, now, typically what I do, me personally, is I figure out what I did with my thread sealant and where I left it at. I thought it was over here. Yeah, right here. So you put the little white tube on top of a white paper towel, so you can't find it again. Alright, cap off. I still don't know what the difference between this and the T+2 I have over there is, but apparently there's a difference. So, I don't know. Alright, as I said, one little drop right there, and we gotta go all the way around with it, because when you pull the washer down and spin it like that, it seals it in, just like so. Spin it around. And put your sealant on there like so. I don't know, guys, is that too much? Is there such thing as too much when it comes to this? Leave it in the comments below and tell me. Set the right motion. Now, the best way on this that I found is to work in circles. So you want to start center, bottom, left, you know, keep working your way up and around, keep working circles till you work your way out. Now, I've heard people say you can do this in 2 steps. I do it in 3. I'm starting at 30 foot-pounds, okay? So we're going to go right here. There's one. All right, there's 30. We'll go to 50. Go back through and double check these. Yep. Now 70. All right, heads are on, and I am now changing the rocker studs over to the new ones from Jegs. For those of you who don't remember, this one here is actually broke, or it was broke. I've already changed that one. Oh, that's the new one. Actually, I don't know what. I think I threw it in that box over there. But anyway, so, of course, that was going to fight me all the way out. But they already had these rocker plates or push rod plates set up good. So instead of me going through and changing them up any, I'm simply going to leave them intact in place where they are and change these one at a time. And just, I'm putting blue Loctite on them. Now, putting these gloves on for a couple different reasons. Now, as you can see, I've got this cover over here. I had it all the way over it, but I had to pull it back just a while ago. You always want to make sure you don't get nothing inside your engine, okay? And when you're working with hydraulic lifters, whether they're flat tappet or not, you generally always want to soak them in oil, okay? Because that's how you prime them. Now, I'm just going to stick a finger through here, stick a finger through here, just to make sure everything's good and cleaned out. I know it is. And then just for added measure, we'll take a little bit of Sibley lube and lube up a finger. Yeah, this is the fun part. Exam anyone? But this is where you don't have to do this, but I choose to, because again, there's no such thing as too much assembly lube. Now, 2 exhaust, 2 intake, okay? So you can always tell 2, 4, 6, 8, exhaust, intake, intake, exhaust, right? So make sure we don't get these mixed up. You can also tell because that lifter lines up with the exhaust port. Number 6. Oh no. Guys, I'm an idiot. Please forgive me. I am an idiot. These need to go over here. Luckily, I can just go straight across with them. 1, 3, 5, 7. I'm an idiot. There we go. All right, now we're back on track. Now time for number 8. I was fixing the question, why do I have an L on it? It's an upside down 7, stupid. All right. Now, next step here, pull these gloves off. Just drop them down here on the pan and get a new paper towel. At this point, we could go through and set our rockers on, which is what I'll do tomorrow. All right, everybody. So, I've been a little busy off camera here. Went ahead and got the timing cover on, got the harmonic balancer on, and got the Wix filter and the new oil pan. That's what we went with for an oil pan here. Got it all on and tightened up. We went with the Wix XP filter for this. And in most cases on something like this, you would want to go with a really good break-in oil. But we're not. No. You know why? Because, we're going to go with the Shell Rotella 1540. All right? Because it's got all the ZDDP that you need. Along with a ZDDP supplement to help hyperlube. So, what we're going to do here I still have to put the oil dipstick tube in, but for right now, we're going to go ahead and grab that gallon of oil right there. We're going to dump it straight in through the top here a little bit, and then we're going to mix that stuff in to that and then dump the rest of it in. And then we're going to pump up these lifters and make sure we got pressure flowing through. So hang tight, I'll throw you on the stand and you can see how it's done. Now, I do know this video is getting to be long, but guys, it's just what it is, you know, when you got this much work going into something, okay? Now, as I said, I'm not going to dump the whole... You know what? I think I got enough room in here to go ahead and just add the Hyperlube here. So, let's do that. Give it some shakies. Just because you want to make sure you got plenty of that stuff in there, okay? But guys, in the motor oil world, and I know you hear Vice Grip say it a lot, you hear other people say it a lot too, but the T4 Shell Rotella diesel oil is about the only oil you can buy anymore that has the zinc and all added into it for your classic engines, for your old hot rods, stuff like that. Now you can always go and find the zinc additives from Lucas or several other companies. I do like the Lucas, they just didn't have none. But guys, you got to be careful, okay? Because you don't want to go putting synthetic in your 60-year-old hot rod, because if you do, it will eat a camshaft. Now, we will just simply start pouring this in right down the middle there. Sweet. Ain't nothing dripping out the bottom. Oh, actually, you know what? Let me explain what this is. This used to be a distributor, HEI distributor, from a Chevrolet, okay? And all I did was grind all the gears off of it. But if I had the intake on here, you can set this straight into the intake. It will seat down right here to the clamp. All this is what goes down into your intake. Now what you're trying to do is line that little slot up with the slot drive that's down inside the engine. Now what we're doing here is not exactly the same. We're just going to flip this over, stick it down on there, make sure we got a good connection on it. Once we do, we'll set our drill on top of here and spin it to start pumping up the engine. You know what? I think I'm going to just take that off for right now and do it like so. All right. Now what we're trying to do, guys, is turn this. You'll hear the drill when it starts picking up. Woo! Oh, my drill's dead. Let me find another battery. All right, ladies and gents, it's been several days and I've had some other jobs going on, but I'm back. And yeah, you see I got the drill in there and I actually have the oil pressure gauge hooked up. So let me show you here. Oh yeah, almost 80, right? Check it out. We got oilage on all lifters now. All right, we have oil on all. And watch it spin back around. All right, guys. So we got the intake on and bolted down. We're going to let this sit and dry overnight, and then I'm going to change out the silver bolt here and then these two dark ones here with other gold ones just because it looks better. Now we've got the valve covers here, the Chevrolet style, and they were chrome initially, but I know under that chrome it's just like the oil pan, it's rusty junk. So I got to go ahead to run on down and get a nice set of valve covers. So that's what we're going to do, is go down and get a beautiful set of valve covers for this beast. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer to being able to fire this beast up. But oh, and the Permatex plot See if you can see it in there. It was perfect. And then right here, the Permatex plot was perfect. So, yeah. There it is. All right, so we went and bought a set of valve covers. They're back in the Blazer again because all O'Reilly's down here had was the standard depth. And if you've got roller rockers and poly locks, standard height valve covers will not fit. You have to have the deep ones. So we got a plan B for those. However, I went ahead and got the distributor set in. And this is, in fact, an MSD. Part number is 0221. It's the Street Fire HEI. And everything in it seems to be okay. We'll check more into it as it's time to start getting ready to fire this engine up. But we went ahead and got the Edelbrock hold down clamp on. If you are curious about that, that particular chrome hold down clamp is part number 4802. Since everything else on this engine seems to be Edelbrock, let's go ahead with the Edelbrock hold down clamp and Edelbrock valve covers and all that. So now we're in the market for a set of nice finned black or chrome or polished aluminum, whatever, Edelbrock valve covers for this engine. However, in the meantime, I'm going to do some work on those, okay? But first and foremost, like I say, we got that in. It's not tight at all. We're going to get the cap set on here, which is sitting over there. For some reason, it's got a black cap, and it was missing the top, which I'm going to make an assumption, judging by that rusty ground nut there, or ground bolt there, that it probably wasn't firing. But if that coil right there is not firing, not a big deal. Look what I've got up there on the shelf. Yeah. So we ain't going to stress that too much. So if we go to fire this up and it don't go, we know what to do. So I'm going to set this back on here and start running plug wires. So get all this together. Now, for those of you who don't know about the HEI distributors, and I'm saying that like there's a bunch of people watching my channel that don't know how to work on stuff. I pretty much know better than that, but you'll notice these little turns right here. God, the inside of that's filthy, but we'll take, I might better clean that before I pour, but not bad. It looks like that button's fairly, oh. That button is solid. So your little plunger button in there is supposed to be able to move a little bit. There's a spring that sits under this, so let me see, don't I have, yeah, I've got another cap up there. Let's put another cap together for this. Hang tight. All right, so we've got a spare cap here. A lot of people want to change these out thinking that the caps are bad, and they're really not. And which, okay, make sure it's the right one. Because these come in 6-cylinder and 8-cylinder configurations. And, yeah, all that jazz. Alright, so we've got that. Got a new coil. Is a PO 90615, which is a factory replacement. We've got a new negative lip. We've got a new button. And yeah, as I said, the button drops down inside the hole there, like so. There it is. Actually, I was going to do this here just to be safe. I'm going to push that button out like that. So part of being a mechanic and doing this is holding on to everything and realizing at some point that you have a hoarding problem. So I found cap screws. Brand new in the pack. You know why? Oh, that ain't right either. Well, biscuits. Anyway, I guess those go back in the pack and go back in the drawer. Anyway, it's because I'm a bit of a hoarder. And you can be a hoarder too. Anyhow, guys. Put these back in here. I know I got a set of screws that'll fit in it. I'll worry about that tomorrow. In the meantime, let's turn y'all around here so you can see what's going on the engine. We shall go ahead and put the cap on. Make sure all your little turns are turned outwards instead of inward. There's the notch. The notch goes right here, just like that. Okay. There it is. Now, there it is. Now you're going to take these and turn them in. Now those are in. Now keep in mind, like I said, guys, this is completely loose. You can also look at your block here. Center is negative. All the way to the right is positive, and this is your central. So that way you can make sure which way it faces in, because it could possibly go both directions. Anyway, the reason that's important is because on the outside here you have two spade connectors that go opposite. One is your battery power that comes in to power your distributor. The other one is your exit line, which is your remote line for your tack, if you're running one. Now, as I said, guys, I'm not tightening this, I'm just snugging it, okay? I'm just throwing my wrench down there. Excuse me. Ow! That way I can still turn. There. Just snugging it, that's all. Run that down like that, get it out of the way. Now, we will go ahead and slap these plugs back in, like so. Alright guys, so we've got all our spark plug wires here. We're going to take our trying to figure out which ones to go with here. These are Summit spark plugs. Let's see here. 8mm silicone, low ohm. Actually really good plug wires. Huh. Anyway, we'll take one of the almost all the way long ones. Go from number 1 here. Move these out of the way. We're going to do it like this here. You know what? That goes the other way. And I'll show you how I know that here in just a second. The back side of these, how it has that nipple, is for the cap that's supposed to mount down on it to go there. Alright. Now that's number 1. So how this works is you got 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, 7, 2. Okay? So this is number 1. So now we need number 3. So which would it be? 1, 8, 4, 3. So we need to come from there to here. In a kind of long manner. See if this one's it. Nope. Go with the longest one, maybe. You know what? See, this is the part that drives me crazy because I always do this. And I can't never make up my mind how I want my plug wires to run. One. Guys, I'll bring you back in a minute when I'm done. Alright guys, next up is, as you can see, I've got all of them ran straight. So next up is making your wire holders. Okay? Now, me personally, I'll come back here to the back with all these, where they're all together. Figure out which way I want to run it. Like so. Matter of fact, you can start this up here. So that way you can make sure which way your tails go. Run one around the outside. Okay? David Freiberger shows this on a bunch. But it's all in how you want to do it. Okay? There's one. Now, who is next to be this one here? Yep. Some people say that's a waste on a lot of good zip ties. It kind of all depends on what you like. This. All right, now we've got all these in. I don't know how good you can see this, but at this point we'll want to snug it up. Pull your tail that way, like so, ensuring to keep them all straight. All right, and then start from your outside, keeping your tails down. Snug, then your middle, snug, and then inside, snug, snug, and just go back and double check the tightness on them one last time, and then cut off your tails using your flush cut so that way when you reach back in here the next time you don't have the possibility of needing to go get stitches from a zip tie. And just like that, you have a zip tie. A spark plug holder. Now, from these ones up here, you can do it with the big ones, or because it's a more confined area, I got smaller ones. Regardless of which ones you choose to use from here on up, always use the black zip ties. Okay? The white ones break way too easy. The black just looks way better. So, there's that. Now we're going to do the same thing here, just with smaller zip ties. All right, put that tail to the inside, and I'll go right in the middle here. Okay. And go like this. I didn't tell you to run away. I guess this could be considered your zip tie moment. Your Brian's Custom Auto zip tie moment. But I don't want to be that guy that, you know, follows too cheesy of the David Freiberger copying like some people. If you're picking up what I'm putting down and who I'm talking about. Just like Top Gear and Grand Tour, you know, it ended. Nobody will ever be able to do it the way them guys did, Jeremy Clarkson and all them. But they can try. Well, nobody can ever roadkill like David Freiberger and Mike Finnegan. However, they can try. There you go. There's a small one. And then for the last one, just need two. And I understand by going this far with it, that's a little redundant, but hey. I'm a bit of a perfectionist on certain things. You know what the good thing is about this? When I pull all them off, they're going to be in order. So, there's that. All we've got left at this point, guys, set the valve covers on, and we're done. For tonight, anyway. God, them valve covers are ugly. They are hideous. So, I got to do the same thing on the other side, guys. All right, so now I'll give you an up-close look at the plug wires, how they turned out on both sides. And you can see how I ran them. So, as you can see, all the lines go together. They go under where they have to, and then come back up. Everything is nice and straight and uniform. And then we'll come around to this side here. Again, same thing. That guy go there, like that. Which, you know, all this has got to still move around. But you just put your wires together like so. They come up, go to your cap. Alright. Now, that being said, guys, I've got to paint these valve covers because, I mean, yeah. That looks like trash. But, it'll be enough to keep the oil in it for right now. So, that's going to do it for this video. The small block is back together. I've got to rebuild that carburetor. I've got to paint these valve covers and put the headers on and all that jazz. So, we will get to that in the next video. Yeah. And that's it for right now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Kind of stuff. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the little bell notification so you see next time a new video uploads. Now, I want to also say a special thanks again to the O'Reillys here in Elizabethton, Tennessee, because them guys have rocked out with helping get all the stuff that I've needed for this. I'll talk to Dave Monday and see maybe he can find me a set of valve covers for this. But yeah, guys, that's all there is to it. Building an engine like this is not hard to do if you know what you're doing. If you don't know, follow my videos. I'll take you every step along the way. Like I said, thank you again to everyone who stayed and watched till the end. I've got a special announcement coming up, either next video or video after. Okay, we've got a new direction we're going to go with Brian's Custom Auto here. Still doing classic autos and building engines and working on stuff like that. None of that's changing. None of that's ever going to change. Okay, but we've got a new set of skills we're working on. So might need y'all's help on this one too. I don't know. We'll see when that time comes. But again, guys, thank you again for watching. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.